Hey everybody, it's Shelly. I'm a little early today, but that's just what I'm doing. I actually slept in this morning until after 5:30, which I usually get up between 4 and 5, so I always feel like when I get up a little late like that, I'm just kind of rushed, which is kind of funny because I don't have a job to go to and I have time freedom and I can get ready when I want to, but I just like to get ready first thing. I like to have my coffee and do yoga and then have my coffee, and it just seems like when I get up a little late like that, I'm just kind of rushed. So anyways, here I am. I am ready for the day. Um I was just going to talk about what you can control and what you can't control, because in our current situation in the world, there's a lot of people trying to control everything, from all the way from leaders down to teenagers. And not that teenagers aren't leaders, but you know what I mean, like national leaders all the way down to kids trying to make changes. And all of that, it all has its place in our contrast and in our happiness and in our manifesting and creating and learning what we want. What is going on here? Okay, just gonna get rid of that so I don't have to listen to it. Anyways, so I just kind of thought about it. I was also having a discussion with my mom, so I'm kind of calling her out a little bit, but I was having a discussion with her, and she has some pretty strong opinions politically. And I was just trying to point out to her that, because she said, well, the leaders need to be, having us prepare more in case there's some major thing happens or whatever. And I was just like, yeah, but we still all have our free will. Like, there are plenty of people out there on YouTube, on blogs, on the news, on everywhere, that are telling us how to prepare for things and how to be safer with things. And then there's also people out there that are talking about, that how this is just all a big conspiracy and that we should, just do our own thing and blah, blah, blah. And then there's people like me who I just feel like, even though this is all happening, my life has still been a blessing. Like, I've been doing great. I'm making more money. I got my car. I am having a great relationship with my husband and my kids and my friends. And I'm really finding out who I'm like-minded with and who I'm not like-minded with. Like, it's been kind of a cleansing experience. And for me, it's, I find myself getting, wrapped up, you talk to other people and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe they're doing this and what's happening and what could happen. And then I go, knock it off. Like, no, this is just part of the process. It's just part of an experience. Our economy ebbs and flows, our government ebbs and flows, our lives ebb and flow, the weather, the seasons, like, it's just all part of our experience here. And so I was talking with my mom yesterday, and I was just like, we all have free will. Like, we all get to choose whether we want to watch mainstream media or we want to watch videos on being a better person. And we are all connected. And when you are frustrated with that other person, it really is what you're frustrated with about yourself. And that's a really hard pill to swallow. And I believe that wholeheartedly, but there's still, like, what was I just watching? We were watching something last night. Oh, we were watching Hoarders, just for a minute. I like watching Hoarders and those kinds of shows because I'm just fascinated by the, just kind of analyzing it all. And so we were watching it, and there's this one woman on there that's one of the counselors, and she just irritates me. And, in even saying that out loud, I realized yesterday that, oh my God, so there's stuff about her that I really feel about myself. And that was hard to swallow because she really irritates me, just the way she talks and stuff. And it's like, okay, I need to pay attention to how I talk, like when I talk to other people about things. And so it's just an interesting conundrum. So when you are like totally irritated with the left or the right or the, mask wearers or the non-mask wearers or the, neighbor who parks his car somewhere or anything, it's like you're still connected with that person. And those irritating things are actually what you're irritated with yourself and frustrated with yourself. And it might not be that exact thing, but when you are like spewing out blaming other people, you're using that as a deflection to not take responsibility for your response or your reaction. So that goes back to what I'm talking about today. I always get out on those little tangents. That your response and reaction to anything and everything is all you have control over. Like this election that's coming up, the only control you have over it, the absolute only control you have over the election is one vote. That's all you have control over. You don't have control over all the votes. You don't have control over your neighbor's vote or your husband's vote or your kid's vote or your parents' vote. You have control over your one vote, because when you sit down to fill out that ballot, however that is, mail in, or you go somewhere to do it, or however it works out in your state, you have control over that one ballot, and that's it. And that's your response or your reaction to what you think is best for the country. That's it. And that's the truth about everything. That's the truth about, your neighbor parked his car in front of your driveway. Are you going to go over there and flip out? Or are you going to go over there and say, look, obviously you needed a place to park your car for a minute, but I really need to go. So could you please move your car? And then it's up to him or her to have another response. They could be like, are you kidding me? I only had it there for 5 minutes. Or they can say, yeah, just let me get my shoes on. I'm really sorry about that. I forgot. I just had to move it because I needed to get something out of the garage, and I'm sorry I left it there. Like, those are two different reactions to the same exact situation. And so your reaction or response, and I say reaction and response because a reaction is like a knee-jerk reaction. And when you get to a point in your life where your reaction becomes a response, and a response is more of a thinking. I always think of training horses. So I've gone to a whole bunch of natural horsemanship, not a whole bunch of, I've gone to 2 natural horsemanship 2 or 3 day events. And then I watch a lot of videos on. I don't have horses right now, but I love horses. And I'm just like so sorry that I didn't know all the stuff I know now when I was younger, what I did with all my ponies and horses, because I had tons of them. Anyways, when you're using natural horsemanship, you watch your horse, and when you so say you're going to teach them that tarps aren't scary. So you put a tarp on the ground and then you try to lead them over it. Well, their reaction is, oh my God, what is that? And they back up and they rear up and they're like, oh my God, I can't. And so you slowly bring them back over to it, and then you take them away and you bring them back over to it. And pretty soon they have a response instead of reaction. And the response is they put their head down and sniff it. And then they're like, oh, this isn't scary. This is just a piece of fabric or, a piece of plastic or whatever. Okay. And then you bring them away from it. And then the next time you bring them to it, they might still have a little reaction, but they're going to have more of a response. And so that's what I think about with reaction and response. Reaction is when you're like, oh my God, I can't believe they did that. Or, oh, I can't believe you said that. Or, oh, I can't believe that you acted like that, or whatever. And the response is, oh, you said that, so why did you say that? Let me better understand. Or, why did you act like that? Or you must really be frustrated. And I just listened to a Wayne Dyer video, and he's gone now, but I just absolutely love his his way of thinking and his understanding of the law of attraction. And he was talking about, just things like, I think that like being in traffic is something that's definitely programmed into us because we've been in the car with our parents since we were infants, and we hear them, oh, are you going to even use a turn signal, and get out of my way, and oh, you just cut me off. And being in traffic is definitely a very reactive place to be for a lot of people. And so I just think it's interesting when we instead of reacting, we can respond. So when that person wants in, you can let them in, because maybe they don't know where they are, or maybe they forgot, or maybe they were dealing with their baby screaming in the back seat. Like, you don't know what their situation is, and why not just be nice? Because when you're nice in any shape or form, it comes back to you tenfold. So then you might be like, the next day you're trying to find an address because you're going to a new house or a new business, and you're like, oh no, I'm supposed to be in that lane, and you put it on your turn signal, and somebody immediately like slows down to make room for you. And you'll see that like over and over again from that one thing that you did. Somebody lets you in, or you're at a four-way stop and somebody's like, come on, go ahead. Like, those are the things that you start seeing when you decide to start responding to situations instead of reacting to situations. Because in the end, the only thing that you have control over is how you react or respond to any situation. It's all you have. So you can decide to respond in a happy, caring, kind manner in all situations. And that includes situations with yourself, because we all have that self-talk that we're constantly doing. And when you slowly start to change that, like, oh, I can't believe these pants don't fit, instead of saying, oh, these pants don't fit today, I'll do better today, and maybe I should get bigger pants, or maybe I should wear some comfy pants that fit better and feel better to me. Those little things will eventually turn your body around, turn your wardrobe around. And I know that sounds silly, like, no, only hard work and being, I got to be angry with my body and angry with the way I eat, or I'm never going to lose weight. When you're angry at something and frustrated with something, excuse me, and every time you look in the mirror, you're just like, ugh, instead of looking in the mirror and going, wow, yeah, I'm not exactly where I want to be, but it was pretty miraculous that my body made two human beings. I mean, I know I had some help, but I did a majority of the work of growing those people inside of me. And did it make my body not look like, the 20-year-old hot body that I used to have? Yeah, it did. But that's where I'm at, and that's what I wanted. So I'm going to stop being frustrated with my body and start accepting it and loving it and being grateful for what it did for me. It made me a mom. So it's just like those things that can switch how everything happens. And then, like, since I've been, starting to do that, I've been eating better. I do intermittent fasting. So I was going to start big and go like every 8 hours. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to pare it down to 5 hours. I'm only going to eat in a 5-hour window. And right now I'm just eating like literally in like a 2 or 3 hour window. And I've gotten to where I only eat for like an hour or two a day, and people can say, oh, that's horrible. But it felt so good to me because it let my digestive system heal. And that's what works for me. Is that what's going to work for you? No, not necessarily. I mean, it might be a good idea, and you might look into it and go, wow, this is really a good idea. I want to try this. Or you can be like, no, I want to do Weight Watchers because I want to eat all day and I want those points, and I want to be able to eat at a restaurant or pull something out of my fridge. I don't want like a meal plan. So anyways, again, another tangent. But it's just like, you just have to get to the point where you're responding to other people. You're not looking for approval. You're not trying to change their minds. You're not trying to, be just as irritating as they are to you. When you have somebody that zips into traffic in front of you and you have to slam on your brakes, your reaction is going to be like, holy crap, I have my kids in here. You're such a jerk, and you say way more words than that. I know I do. But what's really going on with them? Like, did they need to get in that lane really fast and they didn't know how else to do it? Are they just having a really crappy day, you know, and you could just make it crappier by them looking in their rearview mirror and you're flipping them off and being a jerk? No, just, okay, you know, obviously, whatever. Like, I'm going to chill out about that, you know, which I know is very challenging in those circumstances. But you get to the point where you do that more and more and you're just responding. And when you are responding to anything in your life, you are using your brain to think about it instead of your just reaction survival side. When you are constantly reacting, you're in survival mode. It's like the T-Rex is on your heels and you're just constantly stressed out. You can't be creative, you can't be loving, you can't manifest anything because you are always just running from everything and being pissed off about everything. When you settle into responding to things and understanding about things, that is when your life will change. I guarantee it. So again, what can you control? You can control how you respond and react to every situation. You can control the political outlook with one vote, and that's it. You can spew all the stuff you want out on social media and to your friends and everything else, but when it comes down to it, like your whole entire life, the only thing you have is that one vote, is that one response to that situation. Just like every other situation, you have one response. Are you going to let that guy into traffic, or are you going to be a jerk and make his life worse today? Are you going to thank that waitress and, you know, maybe say, hey, it looks like you're having a rough day and I hope it gets better, and, you know, I hope I haven't been too much of a pain in the butt, you know? Like, even if they keep reacting negatively, you've put out a positive vibe, and maybe it will make them think about things later on. Or maybe their kids will go, wow, Dad, that waitress was really nice and you were kind of a jerk to them. If Madison, if you're watching this, you understand what I'm talking about. Anyways, I'm going to go now. You guys all have a great day. I am going to have a great day. Things are just getting better and better over here. And I look forward to any comments you have or questions you have. Make sure to subscribe, hit the like button, the thumbs up, and hit the bell if you want to know when I'm on live. Have a great day and goodbye.